Why do some men disappear from her memory, while others live there forever? Why does one man get blocked and forgotten, while another is silently stalked for years? Why is she still watching his stories but not yours? Why is she still drawn to the memory of someone who barely chased her and barely talked? It's not his looks, it's not his charm, it's not luck. It's because he became unforgettable. And if you're tired of being the one she moves on from like it meant nothing, this is your moment to never be that guy again. If you're serious about turning this around, type "I choose strength" in the comments right now. Number 1, he's grounded in his values. Most men spend their lives reacting to what the world throws at them, not realizing that every time they bend to someone else's expectations, they shave off pieces of who they are until there's nothing solid left to stand on. And when a woman comes into their life, instead of seeing a man, she sees a reflection of her moods, her standards, her shifting desires, and that's exactly why she forgets him, because he offered nothing she couldn't already find in her own reflection, nothing that made her stop and think, he's different. And the truth is, she doesn't even mean to lose respect for him, but how can she admire what doesn't hold ground under pressure? How can she respect someone who doesn't seem to respect himself? Because every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you let something slide to keep the peace, every time you avoid conflict to stay liked, you reinforce the idea that your values are negotiable, and a man whose values are negotiable is a man who gets discarded when the mood changes, because he's not trusted to lead, and deep down, you feel it. You feel that ache of not being respected, not being admired, not being remembered, and yet you stay silent, hoping silence will be seen as peace. But it's not peace if it comes from fear. It's only suppression, and suppressed identity always turns into resentment. And resentment kills your presence, and your presence is what makes you unforgettable. So if you've ever sat there watching her slowly pull away, start acting colder, shorter, more distracted, while you keep trying to be the nice guy, the understanding guy, the one who proves he's different by letting her get away with more, you need to understand something. She's not forgetting you because you weren't good enough. She's forgetting you because you weren't real enough. Because everything you showed her was designed to be accepted, not to be respected. And that's what makes the difference. Because the man who lives by values doesn't need acceptance to act. He doesn't need to be understood to enforce his boundary. He doesn't care if it costs him attention or affection, because his standard isn't based on reward. It's based on identity. And when a woman feels that, when she feels that you'll walk away even when it hurts, that you'll say no even if it risks the connection, that you don't change your views to match hers, that you're not trying to be palatable, you become unforgettable, because she sees a man, not a puppet. And the irony is that the more solid you are, the more curious she becomes, because now you're not something she controls. Now you're something she has to rise to meet, and she'll think about that more than she'll ever admit, because deep down, every woman wants to be led by a man who can't be moved by approval, who can't be shifted by rejection, who doesn't flinch when the emotional temperature changes. And the reason most men fail is because they've been taught to prioritize harmony over truth, connection over direction, comfort over clarity. And what they don't realize is that women don't stay for harmony. They don't stay for comfort. They stay for structure, for grounding, for alignment. And if you're not giving that, she'll drift. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because she's wired to test what she can't trust. And the second she sees you compromise on your beliefs for her validation, you fail the test, and she starts forgetting you. Not all at once, but piece by piece, until you're just a name on a list of men who talked well, but stood for nothing. So if you want to be different, If you want to leave an imprint that time doesn't erase, start living like your values matter more than being liked, more than being chosen, more than being understood. And that means knowing what you stand for before anyone tries to sway you. It means defining your deal breakers and actually enforcing them, not explaining them, not justifying them, enforcing them. It means refusing to stay where you're disrespected, even if she's beautiful, even if you're lonely, even if it's comfortable. It means prioritizing self-respect over short-term connection. And this isn't about punishing her, it's about preserving you, because the man who's grounded in his values becomes rare, and rare always leaves a mark. So if you've ever felt like you were invisible to her, like no matter how much effort you gave, she still forgot you, still left, still replaced you with someone who did half as much, it's because she never felt something she couldn't control. And that control comes from your lack of grounding, your willingness to tolerate anything in the name of love. And that's not love, that's submission, and no one remembers the submissive. They remember the sovereign, the man who looks her in the eyes and says, "I love you, but I won't betray myself for you." The man who doesn't chase when disrespected, the man who doesn't explain his boundaries like a child needing permission, the man who makes decisions based on what's right, not what's easy. And if you're tired of being forgotten, start being remembered by standing for something, by becoming immovable in your ethics, unshakable in your integrity, unwavering in your standards. And you don't do this for her, you do it for you, because a man without values is a man without identity, and without identity, you become a shadow of what you could have been, and shadows are forgotten. But men who walk in truth, who enforce truth, who build their lives around principle instead of emotion, those are the ones who echo in memory long after they're gone. And that's who you're called to be. Not a version of a man, not a negotiator of peace at the cost of your soul, but a solid, structured, self-led man who never needs to beg to be remembered, because he lives in a way that makes forgetting him impossible. And that's the mark of a man who cannot be replaced. A man who no longer lives in reaction, but in alignment with timeless principles that hold true no matter who stays or leaves. If that's the man you're ready to become, not just for her, but for yourself, then the Stoic relationship blueprint was written for you. It's not just a book. It's a manual for men who are tired of being forgettable, tired of being reactive, tired of giving their power away. Inside, you'll find the exact timeless Stoic principles that help you build unshakable values, lead with calm strength, and command the respect you've always deserved. Not through force, but through unmovable self-leadership. And now, this life-changing book is available in audiobook form, so you can absorb this life-changing wisdom while walking, driving, training, or starting your morning routine. You don't have to wait. You don't have to guess. And once you grab your copy, it's yours forever. No subscriptions, just permanent access to the mental tools that most men never get taught. The link is in the comments. Get it now, because the man you're meant to be can't afford to wait another day. Number 2, he knows when to walk away. A man who doesn't know when to walk away is a man who ends up begging for the bare minimum, trapped in a cycle of hoping, explaining, rationalizing, giving chance after chance to someone who's already shown him that she no longer respects him. And the more he tries to fix what she's breaking, the more he confirms to her that he has nothing stronger backing his identity, because walking away isn't about being cold. It's about being rooted in enough self-worth to know that not every door deserves to be knocked on twice, especially when the one inside is slamming it shut with contempt. And the problem most men face isn't that they get rejected, it's that they stay after the rejection, emotionally, mentally, physically. They stay trying to prove they were worth keeping, trying to be the exception to a rule she's already decided on. And what they don't understand is that staying past disrespect doesn't make you loyal, it makes you weak in her eyes. Because if a woman senses that she can mistreat you and still have you around, she no longer sees you as a man. She sees you as an option, and options are disposable. And when you become disposable, you become forgettable. And it hurts because you think the more you love, the more you fight for her, the more you give, the more she'll see how real you are. But she doesn't see real in desperation. She sees fear, and fear never makes anyone admirable. And yet you stay, because you think walking away means losing her. But the truth is, the moment she lost respect for you, she was already gone, and what you're clinging to isn't her. It's your illusion of her, your fantasy of what it could have been if only she understood your heart. But she did understand, and she still pulled away, still treated you like your presence was cheap, still looked at you like she was doing you a favor by staying. And if that's the energy you're accepting, you're not being loving, you're being controlled, because any man who sacrifices dignity for connection ends up with neither. And deep down, you know this. You feel it every time you're texting with a lump in your throat, waiting for her to reply while she's laughing at another man's jokes. You feel it every time you accept another backhanded comment, another flake, another last-minute cancellation, telling yourself she's just confused when what she really is done. And the reason she doesn't tell you directly is because she's hoping you'll take the hint, disappear quietly, and let her off the hook without having to deal with your emotions. And when you don't, when you keep showing up, keep checking in, keep trying to explain your worth, you make her feel trapped, not cherished, because now she has to carry the burden of your inability to walk away. And that makes her feel more powerful than she wants to be, and less attracted than she'll admit. And while you think persistence is showing her your heart, what you're really showing her is your dependence. And the only thing more forgettable than a man she doesn't respect is a man who doesn't respect himself. And that's what not walking away reveals, because every man says he has standards until those standards cost him something he wants. And the test of your worth isn't in how hard you hold on. It's in how clear you are when it's time to let go. And letting go doesn't mean you didn't care. It means you cared enough to protect what's left of you, because the longer you stay in a space where you're not seen, the more you start to disappear from your own life. And before you know it, you're a version of yourself that's anxious, needy, small, waiting for signs of affection that used to be automatic, and now only come when she's bored or feeling guilty. And that is no place for a man to live. And if you want to be unforgettable, leave before you become invisible. Walk before she has to drag you out with silence. Disappear while your value is still remembered, not mocked. And if that sounds harsh, it's because it is. Because life doesn't reward the man who waits to be chosen. It rewards the man who chooses himself, even when his heart still wants to stay. And that's the hardest part, walking when it hurts, staying silent when you have more to say, turning your back on what you hoped would change, because you've finally accepted that who she is now is exactly who she chooses to be. And no amount of effort on your end will rewrite the script she's decided to follow. And you're not her editor. You're not her therapist. You're not her savior. You're a man who needs to start living like he matters again, and that starts with the decision to walk. Not for her to see what she lost, but for you to see what you still have left to build, to grow, to protect. Because a man who walks away with calm is a man who refuses to. Let chaos dictate his value, and that kind of energy leaves a dent in memory, not because it's loud, but because it's rare. And she'll remember you not as the man who begged for another chance, but as the one who didn't need it. And if you want to start showing up as that man, do this. Stop texting her when you feel anxious. Stop checking her page when you feel forgotten. Stop reminiscing about the highs and ignoring the lows. Stop imagining a future with someone who's already decided against you. Stop writing paragraphs she'll never read. Stop explaining your side to someone who's already judged it. Stop hoping she'll come back, and start asking why you ever let her hold that kind of power to begin with. Because you don't need another apology, another breadcrumb, another pity visit. You need clarity, and clarity comes when you step out of the emotional haze and ask yourself what kind of man you want to be moving forward. Not just in love, but in life, because this isn't just about her. It's about how easily you gave your peace to someone who couldn't protect it, and from this day forward, the only woman who gets access to your presence is the one who earns it through consistency, through respect, through alignment. And until then, you walk, not because you're cold, not because you're heartless, but because you finally understand that love without dignity isn't love at all. And if you can embody that, not just think it, but live it, you'll never be forgotten again. Not by her, not by anyone, and most importantly, not by yourself. Number 3, he lives with purpose. A man without purpose wakes up with a hole inside him that no woman, no message, no compliment can ever fill, and so he starts searching, not within himself, but through distractions, seeking meaning in how much attention he gets, how often she texts, how well she treats him, and before long his entire emotional state depends on how someone else feels about him, and that's when he loses himself, not in one dramatic moment, but in 1,000 small decisions where he puts her above his path, where he breaks his routine for her convenience, where he answers late-night calls that lead nowhere, cancels gym sessions to chase connection, skips reading for scrolling, puts his ambition on pause so he can make her feel prioritized, thinking that love requires sacrifice, not realizing that what he's actually sacrificing is the very thing that would make her admire him, because she didn't come to complete you. She came to feel what it's like to orbit a man who's already whole, and when you stop being whole, when you start bending everything around keeping her happy, she doesn't see a partner, she sees a follower, and no one follows the one who's following them. And so she starts pulling away, not because she stopped liking you, but because she stopped feeling something bigger than herself in your presence, and that bigger than herself is your purpose, your direction, your reason for waking up in the morning and attacking the day regardless of how she feels. And that's where most men lose the game. They make the relationship the goal instead of the reward. They make love the destination instead of the companion to their destination. And the moment she becomes the center of your focus, you stop being the center of your own growth. And when growth dies, attraction dies, energy dies, clarity dies, and now you're left trying to resurrect a connection that died the moment you stopped leading your own life, and you feel it. When you're not chasing anything worthwhile, your mind starts chasing drama, starts overthinking, starts obsessing over whether she's losing interest, and you don't realize that you're not addicted to her. You're addicted to the distraction she provides from the fact that you're not building anything real, and until you fix that, until you redirect that energy into something that feeds you back, you'll keep falling into the same trap with different faces, same pattern, different names, because the real issue isn't her. It's the void where your purpose should be. And purpose isn't found scrolling Instagram quotes or watching motivation videos or dreaming about a lifestyle. It's built, brick by brick, day by day, in the grind that most men avoid because it's not instantly rewarding. And that's why most men stay average, because they don't stick with anything long enough to see it grow. And a man who can't grow anything will try to grow everything in a woman's attention, and when that attention fades, so does he. And if you've ever been that man, wondering why she lost interest, why she stopped being impressed, why she doesn't look at you the same. It's because you stopped giving her something to look up to. And I don't mean money, I don't mean material things, I mean vision, I mean structure, I mean leadership, I mean the discipline to stick with a mission regardless of how emotional the day gets. Because when you live like that, she stops seeing you as an option and starts seeing you as the path. And that path is what makes you unforgettable, because now you're not just a man, you're a man with movement, with purpose, with principles, and that kind of presence can't be faked, can't be replaced, can't be ignored. And if you don't know your purpose yet, then your purpose right now is to find it. And the way you find it isn't by thinking, it's by doing, by trying, by failing, by staying with something long enough to master it. And I don't care if it's a job, a craft, a business, your health, your education. Commit to something for 12 months with ruthless focus and watch how your identity shifts, because purpose creates gravity and gravity attracts quality. And if you want high-value women, high-value connections, high-value respect, you need to become the kind of man who's hard to distract. And that's what purpose does. It filters out the noise, and you'll notice it. The moment you get serious about your path, she either aligns or she leaves. But either way, you win. Because now you're not tolerating half investments. You're not chasing people who can't see your vision. You're building something that makes them want to be part of it or get out of the way. And that's how you rise, not by begging for attention, but by becoming undeniable. And if you're tired of feeling behind, of feeling like you're watching others win while you're stuck, make a decision today that you will no longer seek fulfillment through women, but through your own results. And the only way to get those results is to remove the distractions, to stop wasting time, to stop complaining, to stop acting like life owes you something, and to start moving like every second matters. And when you live like that, when your time becomes sacred, when your mission becomes your therapy, when your routine becomes your peace, she'll notice, and whether she stays or goes won't shake you, because now you're rooted in something real, and that's the kind of man the world doesn't forget. Not because of his charisma, not because of his charm, but because of his commitment to a higher standard. And that standard becomes the legacy, and legacies don't fade, they echo. Number 4, he protects his time. A man who doesn't protect his time is a man who slowly trades his future for approval, who bleeds minutes and hours into people, messages, distractions that don't build him, that don't grow him, that don't challenge him. And the tragedy is that he knows it. Deep down, he feels it every time he replies out of guilt, every time he scrolls instead of studies, every time he sacrifices his schedule to be more available for someone who doesn't even notice the cost. And what makes this even worse is that he thinks it's generosity. He tells himself he's being kind, being responsive, being loving. But what he's actually being is undisciplined. And in that undiscipline, he's sending a message, not just to her, but to himself, that his time is up for grabs, that anyone can interrupt him, that his goals can wait, that his purpose is negotiable. And over time, this message becomes his identity, and his identity becomes weak. Not because he lacks talent or intelligence, but because he allows energy leaks in every corner of his day. And this weakness, it shows. It shows when she starts treating him like he's optional, when his texts start getting left on read, when his words don't land anymore, when his presence doesn't shift the room, because he no longer values the hours he gives. So why would anyone else? And this is the trap men fall into, thinking that being constantly reachable means being respected, that giving unlimited access equals emotional connection. But access without effort never leads to depth. It leads to boredom, and boredom leads to replacement. And what most men don't understand is that time is the only currency you never get back. And when you give it away recklessly, you're not being loving, you're being forgettable, because nobody remembers the man who's always available, but everyone remembers the one who moves with purpose, who values every hour, who doesn't drop everything just to respond to a message that isn't urgent, who doesn't rearrange his life for people who don't even know where they're going. And the harsh truth is this: if she doesn't respect your time, she won't respect you. And if you don't make your time sacred, she'll treat it as common, and you'll find yourself resenting her for what you allowed, blaming her for stealing hours you never protected. And the resentment won't just hurt the relationship, it'll erode your confidence, because every time you say yes to what drains you, you say no to what builds you, and those no's add up, and soon you're behind, not just in life, but in mindset, in structure, in self-trust, because you no longer believe your time matters, and that disbelief becomes the silent killer of your potential. And the only way to reverse it is to become ruthless with your boundaries, not because you're trying to control others, but because you finally understand the cost of not controlling your environment. And that cost is your peace, your growth, your leadership, and ultimately your legacy. So if you want to stop being forgotten, stop letting your calendar be controlled by chaos, and start structuring your day around what elevates you. And if you don't know where to start, here's what you do. Block the first 90 minutes of every morning for something that requires zero validation from anyone, whether it's fitness, business, reading, or journaling. Make that time untouchable, non-negotiable, guarded like your future depends on it, because it does. Then audit your day for every low-value distraction you entertain, every conversation you prolong out of guilt, every notification you answer like it's a command instead of an option, and kill it. Be brutal, cut access, reduce notifications, start replying when it's aligned, not when it's expected, and you'll start to feel it, the shift. Your energy gets sharper, your mind clears, your focus returns, and now when you do give someone your time, it carries weight. It feels earned, not assumed, and that feeling of being earned is what makes her remember you, because you're not like the rest. You're not predictable. You're not constantly online. You're not stuck in distraction loops. You're present when it counts and gone when it doesn't. And that duality makes you magnetic, and it protects your mission. And your mission is what separates you, not just from other men, but from who you used to be. So if you're tired of being lost in the noise, of being passed over, of being remembered only when you're convenient, it's time to make your time sacred, to treat every hour like it matters, because it does, and not just for productivity, but for your self-respect. Because when you respect your time, you build the muscle of self-control, and self-control is the foundation of real power, not the loud kind, not the flexing kind, but the kind that speaks without speaking, that leads without asking, that creates attraction without chasing. And when you live like that, when your time is your filter, when your presence is rare and earned, she won't just remember you, she'll study you, compare others to you, feel your absence in places where others are present, because your energy wasn't scattered, it was chosen. And chosen energy leaves a permanent imprint, not just on her, but on everything you touch. And that's how a man builds a legacy, through the hours he refuses to waste. Number 5, he's hard to replace. You don't become hard to replace by pretending to be different. You become hard to replace by actually being different. Not just in the way you dress or talk, but in the way you carry yourself, the way you show up to life, the way you move like you belong to no one but your mission. And the truth is, most men don't know how to do that. because they've spent their entire lives chasing connection instead of cultivating character. They've built their identity around what makes them likable instead of what makes them unshakable. And that's why she forgets them, because she's seen 100 of the same man in different bodies, men who fold under pressure, men who shift their personality based on who they're around, men who over-explain their intentions, men who live on the edge of desperation, hoping that being nice and consistent and endlessly available will make them memorable, but it doesn't. It makes them replaceable, because she's not looking for someone to blend in. She's looking for someone who stands out, not because he tries to, but because he can't help but stand firm in who he is. And if that means he intimidates people, so be it. If that means he gets misunderstood, so be it, because his presence doesn't beg to be accepted. It demands to be recognized, and that energy cannot be faked, cannot be copied, and cannot be forgotten. And most men miss this because they think being different means being louder, being more clever, being more charming. But it's none of those things. Being hard to replace isn't about being more, it's about being solid, being rare, being clear, and the man who becomes that knows that not everyone will like him, not everyone will stay, but the ones who do will never find him again, not in their contacts, not in their memories, not in the men they meet after, because what he gives isn't just company, it's contrast, it's depth, it's discipline, and you don't develop that by chasing. You develop that by choosing yourself every single day, even when it's lonely, even when it costs you connection, even when it means walking away from what feels good in the moment for what builds you long term. And when you start living like that, your energy changes, your walk changes, your tone changes, and suddenly you're not trying to get picked anymore. You're deciding who's allowed to come with you, and that switch is what separates the unforgettable from the replaceable, because she can replace a man who always agrees with her, who always caters to her moods, who always fears losing her. But she cannot replace the man who makes her rise, who makes her question her own patterns, who makes her want to be better, not because he said so, but because his presence demands it. And if you've ever been forgotten by someone you gave your best to, someone you bent over backwards for, someone you sacrificed your standards and your time and your peace for, and still got left or replaced or downgraded, you need to understand it's not because you weren't enough, it's because you were too available, too easy, too common in your behavior, too dependent on her validation to act like a man with options. And the truth is, you can't fake being hard to replace. You either live with enough direction and self-respect to be rare, or you live in reaction and become forgettable. And if you want to change that, if you want to be the kind of man who echoes in her mind long after she moves on, then stop trying to impress and start being impressive. And that means mastering your craft, committing to your health, creating solitude that sharpens you instead of distracts you, showing up early, finishing what you start, cutting off what drains you without needing closure, speaking only when necessary, and living every day like your name carries weight, because when it does, it doesn't matter who leaves. You remain unforgettable, not because you tried to be, but because you became the kind of man that the world doesn't produce often, and when she meets someone else, she'll compare him to you, and he might be funnier or more charming or more eager to please, but he won't have your stillness, your clarity, your edge. And that edge isn't something you're born with. It's something you build by consistently choosing integrity over attention, principles over popularity, discipline over comfort. And if you can do that long enough, not only will she remember you, she'll regret losing you. Not because you made her feel good, but because you made her feel challenged. And people don't forget the ones who challenge them to be better, because those are the ones who shape them, who stretch them, who stay in their mind as the standard. And that's who you're meant to be, the standard, not the option, not the backup plan, not the temporary thrill, but the man who changes how she sees the entire game. And that's what being hard to replace looks like. It's not about being perfect. It's about being principled. It's about knowing exactly who you are and what you allow. And when you live like that, you won't care if she stays or goes, because you're too focused on becoming unforgettable by building a life so rich in value, in structure, in peace, that anyone who experiences it knows they'll never find it again. And that's the mark of a man who cannot be replaced. If you've made it this far, then you already know you were never meant to stay average. You were never meant to keep repeating the same mistakes, chasing women who forget you, living a life that's reactive, not powerful. Society doesn't want you to have this knowledge. It thrives when you stay weak, distracted, emotional, begging for attention you should be commanding. But the Stoic relationship blueprint changes all of that. It's not just a book, it's the truth they never wanted you to hear. A blueprint filled with timeless Stoic principles that will shift how you show up in relationships, in life, and in the way you carry your own name. And now, it's available in audiobook format. So no excuses. You can walk, jog, train, work, and absorb the wisdom that will save you years of pain and regret. It's linked in the comments. Get it now and keep it forever. If you're ready to rewrite your story, comment, "I'm done being forgettable." And make sure you like the video and subscribe to help more men break free and find these truths before it's too late.